Briefly touch upon Sheikh Jarrah, which, as you rightly pointed out, is a good case study for a number of reasons. The only interview that I've ever read of interviewing settlers, Jewish settlers who are now living in these Palestinian homes, there was conducted by the Jerusalem Post. I don't know how long ago it was, 6 months, 9 months ago. There could be others existing, but this interview was great because it was just an honest interview by this, with this settler couple, talking about their motivations for being there, talking about issues of the wider context. And during the course of the interview, the husband of this couple, this settler couple, said something to this effect, and I'm only paraphrasing. It's a pretty accurate remembrance of what was said. In his words, he said, "We don't have any problem with the Ahmeds and the Mahmoods around here." He said, as long as they recognise who is the landlord. And he wasn't meaning in his particular spot, right? He was meaning in Jerusalem and in Palestine, Israel in general. And that isn't just the mentality of some crazy settler person. Right? That is the kind of ideology that's informed all these different policies all the way through. So for those kinds of reasons, and for the reasons, even more so for the reasons you were talking about the way in which it opens up the file that refuses to close, the 1948 file. And your second, or the question that then came after that, which is related to mobilisation of people and education and the solidarity movement. And I'm sure you know there are lots of different reasons for this, and I guess at least it felt more like it was a cry of exasperation, I hope, rather than asking me to kind of provide a foolproof answer to that. I mean, that's my escape route that I'm going to kind of go for. But I mean, I think certainly, and particularly veteran political campaigners, of which there are some in this room, will be able to tell you that the progress that the Palestine Solidarity movement has made, globally speaking, and particularly in a place like Britain, suggests that we should also be encouraged too. Not just exasperated, though of course we have to be motivated by what's happening there right now, but there's that encouragement that things are changing and have changed to some extent, and it's just the beginning in some senses of that change, and it's based on the success of the solidarity movement. It's like all kinds of political solidarity movements. It has to be based on intelligence of strategy. It has to be based on creativity, on alliances, on thinking outside the box when it comes to particular campaigning strategies.
But I suppose I should have said that the thing that made it feel so unjust is the way that you put it so clearly and precisely, and clinically, and it made it very forceful. I would like to say, though, just as another point, that all very well telling Blair, Bush and others, but the points you made about the UN, the EU missions and so on, they know only too well all these facts that you're saying, and I think it's very clear that they have a deliberate strategy, and it's not them that we can get to, because they know they know what you're saying already. It's the people that we've got to somehow motivate.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone wish to speak? Anyone else?
Good.